All right. Let's find out. We'll move on to the selection show. And we'll see if we made it. I doubt we will. The NIT does seem pretty likely for how good of a team we are. Like, we are certainly in that caliber where if we don't make the main tournament, we will probably make the NIT.
I'm Gus Johnson, along with the governor, Coach Bill Raftery. Let's get to it. As the selections are coming in, Bill, which schools are still on the bubble?
We're not listed as being on the bubble. You did, thank you. Yeah, we're not listed as being on the bubble, which is a bit scary.
Here are the top seeds.
Top seeds, Clemson, Texas, Oregon, and our conference rivals in Louisville.
Remember, 30 teams get automatic bids.
So here we go.
Only has to select 34
We are not in the West region.
Here are the teams that fill out the Midwest region.
We are not in the Midwest region.
Now let's take a look at the 16 teams in the East.
We are not in the East region.
And finally, the South region.
And we are not in the South region.
Well, Coach Raftery, there's a look at the tournament.
9 teams from the Big East. 9 teams from the Big East.
Here are my predictions based on all that has unfolded this evening. Maybe you're surprised like I am. It comes to teams.
Did we make it as the 16th qualifier? Because we're not listed under missing in action or hello NIT. Did we make it? It says play next game. Did we make it as the qualifier? We're in the NIT. Fuck. So confirmed, for the first time, we'll take part in the NIT. Muted, thank you. I don't know about you guys. The process of buying a ring in 2022, holy fuck. So we are the 3 seed in the draw 2 side of the bracket. And what should be a pretty winnable first matchup. It should be. So we are taking on the Central Connecticut Blue Devils. We will not be watching this until we get deeper into the tournament. But we have a massive, massive overall advantage. This should be a win. Hands down. What can we do? We win. 86-73 over Central Connecticut. 24 points for Jazzman. So we move on to the second round, where we will be taking on the Marist Red Foxes. Again, we have the advantage in every rating. Can we beat the number 5 team here? We lose! Are you fucking joking? 83-60. Jazzman, or Alpine 5 of 13. Jazzman went 1 of 7. Pass Me the Lube had 4 points in 32 minutes. And we're out of the NIT. Couldn't even win that. Couldn't even win that. Like, I get it, man. Could view this tournament as well. You were lucky to do as well as you did, but at the same time, this should have been a better season than it was. This really should have been a better season than it was. And by the way, number 1 Clemson lost, for God's sakes. So, let's take a look here really quickly at the NIT. And Marist ended up losing to Ohio State in the next round. The NCAA side of things, Western Region, number 1 Clemson loses to Cal State Fullerton by 1 point. You also had the, well, let's take a look here. You also had Notre Dame falling. UCLA loses to UAB. And OSU, which I'm guessing is Oklahoma State, also end up losing in the first round. Second round, you had 5 over 4, but the higher seeds all advanced. But yeah, 1 and 2 both lost in the West. That's the second time we've seen a 16 seed win. It came down to UNC and Cincinnati, where the Tar Heels advance out of the West region to the Final Four. In the Midwest, I'm guessing that's Pepperdine beat UConn, the only upset in the early stages of the Midwest region. You also have Illinois over Mizzou. And eventually it comes down to Texas and Arkansas, with the Longhorns moving on to the Final Four. In the East region, UNLV over Washington, Syracuse losing. How the fuck did Syracuse get the 6th seed when we beat them in the Big East tournament? Fuck you. Fuck you. That's just plain disrespectful. They lost in round 1. You had DePaul over Kentucky. It came down to Oregon and Indiana. And the Ducks, who we lost to this season, they are in the Final Four. And then in the South, you had MSU over Purdue. Came down to Tennessee and Louisville. And Tennessee moves on. So the Final Four this year, Tennessee and North Carolina, Oregon and Texas. So a 2 and 3 and a 1 versus 1. So there you go. And the national title game comes down to Tennessee and Texas. So I believe that'll be a first-time winner in our Dynasty mode at least. And the winner, the NCAA tournament this season, is the Texas Longhorns, beating Tennessee by 6. Longhorns win it, led by Ty Calloway at center and Bobby Hill. This is the greatest day of my life. No disrespect to my now fiance. Bobby Hill played for the fucking Texas Longhorns. This is the greatest day of my life. I'm not even mad anymore. I'm not even mad. Holy fuck. That's incredible. So Texas wins the national title. We lost in the second round of the NIT tournament to someone we shouldn't have lost to. But all in all, it was a pretty successful first year in the Big East. 21-14, with the feeling that it could have been a hell of a lot more. And I think that's a good thing. In a sense, it's a good thing that we exit this season with the feeling that we left a lot on the table, because we did. It should have been a better year in some regards. But look at this. 3 4-star recruits, Bill Moorhead, Michael Manning, and Stephen Casey, all joining the Black Bears, which is incredible. It's the best recruitment class we've ever had. I will check to see how that recruitment class ranks as well, if I can. So then the NCAA, UNLV brought in 2 options. But in the Big East, second best class so far behind Cincy, because 5-star recruits are rated so heavily. So that's awesome. That's awesome. We had a great recruitment class. We didn't get embarrassed. We made the Big East tournament. We made the NIT. We didn't win either. But this was a pretty damn good year. Like, we have to look at this positively. However, players leaving. So not only do we lose Jazzman and Vin Scully and Big Papa Pump, but the junior Alpine effed it is going pro. I have just enough points to try to convince him to stay for one more season, which is very unlikely. First and foremost, now you see why I brought in 2 power forwards. Jazzman Miles Davis averaged 12 points. Only got better as time went on. 12 points, 8 rebounds, 2.5 blocks a game. The highest rated player we've ever had. Pro stock, first round pick, possibly a lottery pick. He is going to the NBA. Vin Scully really stepped up these last 2 years. Really did. Especially this past season. Decent chance of getting drafted. And then Big Papa Pump, the 13th. I mean, yeah, 8 points a game. His only year as a starter, he did pretty well. Certainly not as many assists as you'd want from a point guard, though. Also has a decent chance of getting drafted. The question is whether or not we can get Alpine to stay. Can we get Alpine to stay? He has been a phenomenal player for us. Early first round pick if he goes pro. I don't think we'll be able to get him to stay. Will Alpine effed it stay at UMaine for his senior year? No, he will not. Alpine's going pro, and we just lost 4 of our 5 starters. All right. What's done is done. That does mean we have 1 extra scholarship to work with in terms of off-season recruiting. And hopefully another 4 or 5 stars possible. Great season for us, left something on the table, and now I don't know what to think for what's next. We don't have any 4 stars who are interested in joining, but we do have a bunch of 3 stars. We do still need a shooting guard. So one of these numerous guards will be the next member of the UMaine Black Bears. The key here will be to do a good amount of research, get their stat lines for the season, and guess. But yeah, no doubt it will be a shooting guard that we pick up. Again, we already brought in 2 4-star power forwards and a 4-star forward as well. I'm aware the top guy was a JUCO, but at this point, yeah, he was only a sophomore JUCO, so we're looking okay. Whole lot of 3-star guys. Yeah, we only have 1 scholarship available because we signed a lot of dudes throughout the... We got 3 4-star dudes at the beginning of the season. That's why. Recently, we haven't been using up all of our scholarships in the early stages. It made sense to this year. So one of these guards will be the newest member of the UMaine Black Bears. It's just a matter of who. Let's go ahead and sim a week. But yeah, losing Alpine is rough. So let's take a look here. Let's take a look. We'll start off at the bottom with Kevin Rucker. 11 points a game, 40% from the 3-point line. So 11%, or 11 points, 40%. We got Gustav Connolly. Only 9 points a game, but 13 assists and shot 44 from 3. Yeah, Connolly right now is the favorite. Connolly is the favorite, no doubt. Again, 9 points, 13 assists, 44 from 3. Leaf Prince. 11 points, 4 assists, 27% from 3. That's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. What about Richard Outlaw? 9 points a game, 8 assists, 10 from 3-point. It's not going to do it. Devin Coleman. Great 3-point shooter, but doesn't provide as much as our other man Conley does. Ben Claretz. Might be worth a look for that 3-point percentage. Mike Barnes. Can't compare to the other 2. James Guzman. Can't compare to the other 2. Ty Robertson. Can kind of compare. 5 steals a game. All right, Robertson's up there. Let's find out more about Mr. Robertson here. We do have a crap load of points. Let's use them. We want to go back to Connolly. Definitely take a look at him for the assists. Oh, man. It wasn't Barnes, right? Barnes is at 33%. It was Conley. Leif Prince wasn't quite there. Yeah, he was only at 27%. He had the points. Just double checking some of these guys now. Outlaw wasn't bad with the points and the assists, but there was a better option. And then, yeah, Coleman had the 47% three-point shooting. Colorette was the one with the 60. We'll take a look at him as well. Robertson also had that high shooting, but we already got him looked at. Austin Upton. 12 points a game, about 10 assists, but only 10% from 3. I think we had better options. Nathan Stanley. 11 points a game, 4 steals, 5 assists. It's not bad. Bill Kennedy. 10 assists a game, 10 points. Fuck. And Derek McRae. Not good enough. Muted, all good. Enjoy your time, and thank you for hanging out. I just wish Kennedy was a better three-point shooter. I think we got our main targets here. I think we do. I'm going to go after Upton. We're not going to be able to find out as much about him. But I think we got our primary targets here. So, again, Rucker wasn't really one of them. Then we had Connolly. Quick feed on both offense and defense. Connolly's not bad, man. And there was Prince, but we had no other details. We're still his top choice. Outlaw already signed. Coleman, there were no other details. So there was Clarett. Can do some amazing things with the ball, huh? Clarett's not a bad option. Mr. Major, thank you, sir. How are you? Guzman didn't have anything else. Robertson. Tremendous athlete, incredibly fast. Nighthawk as well. Appreciate it. Cray, we didn't have those extra details. Kennedy, we didn't have them. Stanley. Major, thank you. Appreciate you, Budsky. Alright, honestly, I don't know if I have a preference between Connolly, Clarett, and Robson. I don't know if I have a preference. Robertson is listed as the highest rated of the 3. Major, yeah, it was our first season in the Big East. We didn't make the big tournament. We did beat Syracuse in the conference tournament, but then we lost in the NIT. So Robertson's a great shooter. He's great at stealing the ball. Fast as all hell. Clarett has that crazy-ass shooting percentage. Also only costs 4 points to review game fill. And then Connolly, just a crazy amount of assists. Honestly, for all 4 of them, we can review game film. So let's do that and try to get just a little bit more info on these 3. As long as one of these 3 end up being our new shooting guard, or at least on the team. So Ty Robertson. Not much else to learn about him. C outside game, D inside game. Not a great passer. It's weird because his best attribute is apparently his three-point shooting, but his outside game is only rated a C. Clarett, B- outside game, B- passing. Even though he doesn't get any assists. Clarett right now looks like the favorite. And then there's Connolly, who can only pass the ball. Holy fuck, can he pass the ball? But he can only pass the ball. And apparently is desperate to get to the New England region and get the hell out of Alabama. Got quick feet. In terms of a shooter, Claret looks like the better option, but he can pass the ball. Claret looks like the best of both worlds. He can shoot and he can pass. It's Ben Claret. He's the guy. He is the guy. I think he has to be. And indeed he is. The 6'4" guard out of Arkansas. So we go to looking at this squad, knowing that this team has drastically changed. We have lost both of our big men. And that is not going to be easy to overcome. We do have a lot of power forwards on the team now, though. A lot of big men to potentially replace. But still, that's a pretty tough pill to swallow after, like I said, we had a damn good season, but it could have been better. So at center, Muted as a nerd as a sophomore is our best option rather than Kane as a bitch, for at least for the moment. Then you got Eddie Kingston, Bricklayer, Chicken Glizzy, Stephen Casey, and Michael Manning, the freshmen, who were 4 stars, so I don't know if I want to redshirt them, to be honest, but I might have to. At forward, pass me the lube, bear down. Also got Bill Moorhead. Shooting guard, it's breaky ankles, and Ben Claret's there. He's only a 69 rated. 81 for 3-pointers, though. And then point guards, it's Don Sweeney. Fuck you, George. Sir Jimothy Rayquaza X, and Ben Claret. Who actually needs to be a guard, excuse me. There we go, that was weird. I thought we had an extra point guard. So, it's not looking that bad. I am a little bit nervous to redshirt these 2 young power forwards, but it's our best option. Like, there are dudes that, like, we have Bricklayer, who is a freshman. He's an 80. Like, if one or both of these guys were to leave, well then fuck you, we got this guy for the next couple of years. None of these dudes, well, 6'10's not bad. Honestly, Muted should be more of a power forward at 6'9. Interesting. Honestly, Casey and Manning are both going to be considered centers on this team. They're both going to be considered centers. I mean, Muted is a nerd, is a heavy dude, but he's only 6'9". Then again, 6'9" isn't brutally short for a center compared to the NBA. Yeah, maybe not. I think we keep Muted, and Kane is a bitch. I'd love to redshirt Muted as a nerd, but he's our best option at center, so we can't. So we redshirt Casey and Manning. And keep those 5 as our big men for the year. The only guy we could redshirt is Muted, but he'll leave. And let's be honest, we need him. So Stephen Casey and Michael Manning. We just have to hope you don't leave. Knock on wood, we've been relatively lucky with people not leaving. At forward, pass me the lube and bear down. So Bill Moorhead will be redshirt this year. Another one of our new recruits that we have to hope is just okay with playing second fiddle. We have our 2 guards. Ben Claret won't be redshirt due to necessity. And then we got our 3 point guards. So those are our 12. Those are the 12. We just have to hope that 3 of our 4 new recruits, coincidentally the 3 4-stars, don't get mad and leave. In terms of scholarships open at the end of the year, we got nothing though. So maybe we should be a little bit more aggressive. I mean, Don Sweeney's a sophomore, so is Sir Jimothy. Fuck you, George, the freshman. Man, that's a tough call. We got a super, super young team, but we still want to make sure that recruiting options are open, you know? I mean, bear down as the starter. Get rid of Pass Me. Pass Me so far only has better field goals. He's a much better passer. He's got great offensive awareness, great speed. Great strength, too. He's just more of a physical threat. Who the hell would we even get rid of? We need a scholarship open. We need it. Like, at least one, if not more, would be great. I mean, fuck you, George goes nowhere. He's just as good as Sir Jimothy and a year younger. And Sweeney's obviously a bit better than Sir Jimothy. Sweeney is a better passer, and he's faster. That's about it. Oh, man, we just have to leave our options open. This is the toughest set of potential cuts we've ever had to make. Because we are going to have to get rid of some good people. Just to leave our options open. We don't want to miss out on a year of scouting. Or recruiting, that is. You're not allowed to change player positions. So technically, no matter what, Claret has to stay, or it's going to show us as having a shortage in that position. Hate to say it, Eddie Kingston might have to go. He's a junior, he's only 1 point better than Bricklayer, and Bricklayer would really fucking benefit from being the starter this year. And then behind him, you got Chicken Glizzy, who's a sophomore. He's only... well, I mean, shit. What do you make up those 2 points in that year? Either Chicken Glizzy or Eddie Kingston have to go, because Bricklayer is going to be the starter. That way we can still redshirt Manning and Casey. And hopefully get the extra year out of them. So yeah, either Chicken or Kingston has to go. It would benefit us more this year to have Kingston coming off the bench. Chicken Glizzy will never be the starter. He'll never be the starter. And honestly, within a year, maybe two, the guys behind him are okay off the bench. Kingston so far the better shooter. Glizzy has the better free throw. Significant blocking boost to Kingston. Slight rebound edge to Glizzy. Passing's about even. Offensive and defensive awareness offset. Strength advantage to Glizzy. Stamina advantage to Kingston. Inside scoring is 89 to 74. Hate to say it. Old Cheat Kin Glizzy, I think, is on the way out. We're going to officially cut him. Kingston stays. He'll be the understudy, despite being older, to Bricklayer at power forward. And then we got the two redshirt freshmen. Hopefully both of them don't leave. If one of them leaves, well, okay. At forward, pretty obvious. Moorhead is going to get redshirt. We'll stick with the lube and bear down as our options there. So those three will still be redshirt. We got our two guards. And then a point guard. Somebody has to go if we want to open up a second spot. And it's either Don Sweeney or Sir Jimothy, because the freshman fuck you George has to stay. So Sweeney is 1 point better. Shooting, though, goes to Rayquaza. Free throw goes to Sweeney. Steals goes to Rayquaza. Rebounding to Sweeney, not a big deal. Passing is huge to Sweeney, 92. Better awarenesses to Rayquaza. Better speed to Sweeney. Better dribbling to Sweeney. It's got to be Sweeney that stays. It's got to be. So, Sir Jimothy Rayquaza X is also going to get cut because we need to aim high with 4- and 5-star dudes. It would be great if you could. I don't believe you can oversign prospects, though. I don't believe, like, NCAA football lets you oversign. If it does, that'd be great. But I don't think it's like, well, you have 15 or you have 20 players, cut it down to 15. I don't think it works that way. Sir Jimothy Rayquaza X is out. And we are down to our primary 10-man squad for this season. That opens up two spots in terms of scholarships because we have no seniors on this team. So those were two very, very, very difficult cuts. But they had to be made. We again get invited to the NIT tip-off tournament in New York. Season preview, we're a B. So again, kind of mid-table. A little bit scary. It's a little bit scary. This might be a rough year. It's showing us with 0 scholarships, which isn't true. 152 points. The roster we're aware of. The schedule, whatever it hands us, we go for. Preseason training. We'll go with the well-rounded approach, but we are going to go about 70-30 in terms of the starters getting the attention. Recruitment-wise, this is huge. This is absolutely huge. Who do we have? Who do we have? Do we have any 4 stars out of the gates? No, we don't. It's still only 3 stars that we're going to have to wait to see if anybody goes 4-star. So not ideal. We're still not at the point where 4 stars want to immediately come here. We're going to have to bank on certain players developing a little bit. So, we do need more tournament success to get to where we want to be. No doubt. No doubt. Stephen F. Austin to start things off, and then we get the Maryland Terps in the NIT, so fuck that. So let's take a look. So our schedule this year. Stephen F. Austin, Maryland. Play our old friends Xavier. And then we get into the conference games. So it's not the roughest non-conference schedule we've ever had. 3-star, 5-star still in terms of prestige and pride. No pride points yet, but we almost have that maxed out. So our official roster this season. Again, we're going to hope those red shirts don't get upset. And then it has some tack-ons that I don't believe I can cut. Yeah, I don't think I can cut Moorhead and Simpson. At least the Moorhead we would like to get rid of. So yeah, those two will be at the bottom of the depth chart as walk-ons that are just filler for the roster. So Muted as a Nerd will be our starting center. Starting power forward is Bricklayer. Pass Me the Lube will still be at forward. Break your ankles at guard. Starting point guard is kind of close. Honestly, I think we got to go with the freshman. Fuck you, George. Just as good of a rating and a year younger. Also, Ben Claret jumped from a 69 to a 76. Holy God. And yes, I'm aware these guys also jumped up because of our training ratings and stuff like that. But again, we just have to hope they don't leave. So our starting lineup, only one guy is below an 80. Switch Muted and Layer. No. Layer is not taller. You were wrong. Kane is a bitch is taller. But I'm not too worried about height. So, in terms of the bench, we got Kingston, Bear down, pretty much do it in order. So yeah, Simpson and Moorhead again are just walk-ons because we want to redshirt these guys for the season. If we can. So it's certainly not, it's not as good of a team as it was last year, but it's not abysmal. And yes, we'll be renaming them in a minute as we head into our 13th season. And again, it's showing me with no available scholarships, which can't be right because we cut somebody. So that simply can't be right. How do we have no scholarships? What? What the fuck? How do we have no scholarships, though? I cut a dude. That's always given me a scholarship when I cut a dude. Like, yeah, we got the 3 redshirt freshmen. Because of the fucking auto signings, isn't it? It's because of the goddamn auto signings. Fuck! Because it auto-signed these 2 walk-ons. Fuck. Fuck. I don't think I have any way out of this aside to just back out and see where it puts me. Will that work? Doesn't look like it. It looks like it auto-saved right as we got to the start of the season. Yep. Okay. So we have no scholarships this year. We have no scholarships this year. There's nothing I can do. Thank God we don't need anybody. Fuck.